I I honestly think he'll get his 40. Looking at Sam Darnold's numbers from last year, it was a 3-year, $100.5 million contract, 55 guaranteed with 37.5 fully guaranteed of this year. I think Donovan's right. He'll probably get 38 guaranteed this year, but I think he's 3 years over 100 million for sure.
I do too. And this is where, when you get into the market value stuff,
there's just not a lot of quarterbacks coming out. There's really not. And when you go to get a quarterback like that, the only one you're getting is you're only getting Mendoza. Like, besides that, there's no – if a team needs a quarterback, you're getting somebody that's already been in the league, and you've seen what Malik can do. He's gone through 2 coaches, like we've gone over. He understands different things. So, ran the spread option in Liberty, came here, ran a little boot action under center more, got footwork, all that stuff. And he's ready. The way he carries himself, he'll be a completely, perfectly, great quarterback for another team.
I'm hearing some people say that Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson might be a first-round pick. That's wild to think about. I didn't think he had a great year, man. I don't know how you feel about Ty Simpson, but that's wild.
I thought they were talking about him being like a 4th or a 5th rounder earlier in the season.
Right. But again,
we jumped, right?
Going back to college, the value starts to boost. I think that the rumor was he got offered $6 million. I don't know if that's true or not. $6 million to stay in college, and he chose to go to the pros. I was like, "Whoa, bub! Don't know who you got your advice from, but
yeah,
I would have took that money."
But also, like we always say every year on draft, quarterback it's a completely separate draft for the quarterbacks.
Yes.
They're in their own numbers.
It's exactly what we mean when we say there's 2 drafts every April. There's the NFL draft and there's the NFL quarterback draft. Quarterbacks are treated at a minimum 1 tier higher than their current tier of talent. There's no doubt about that. At least
isn't it interesting, too, how the playoff picture could determine how some teams are needy? You'd argue now that the Pittsburgh – we probably knew it was going to happen there with A-Rod anyways, but, what if Stafford wins the Super Bowl and just says, I'm hanging it up?
Right. Now,
that's another team, you know what I mean? Or insert quarterback here that maybe is just tired of it, and we don't know it yet. And then all of a sudden there's an off-season retirement. And that just, again, like to Emilio's point, I haven't been too invested into college football yet. I kind of save that for the off season, and then I just really get nerdy about it. But it does seem like it's kind of weak, man. And it's an interesting year.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of calculated market value, Spot Track has Malik at $10.6 million annually. Okay, so average annual value. Right. Here are the comp players in terms of age and contract signed. Tyson Bagent, 2 years. $10 million, $5 million salary. He's 25 years old when he signed the deal. Davis Mills, 1 year, $7 million. Jarrett Stidham, 2 years, $12 million. Trey Lance, 1 year, $2 million. You're probably going, why are those the comps? Name another quarterback that signed a contract young like that was a free agent. There's just not many. They don't let them get to the market, right? Again, this is Green Bay with the caviar problems in terms of the quarterback. They always got one. So statistical comparison, it's going to lay everything out. I don't want to waste too much time. These are the stats they cover: game played percentage, passing yards per game, passing touchdowns per game, passing interceptions per game, completion percentage, passer rating, and rushing yards per game. So they throw in a little bit of that mobile aspect as well, and that comes up with the rating. When you take those 4 players, Tyson Bagent, Davis Mills, Jarrett Stidham, and Trey Lance, and you get those averages, okay, across the board, now you compare Malik Willis. So Malik Willis, game played percentage, 28 compared to a 21.3. Passing yards per game, Malik Willis, a 74 compared to a 71. Passing touchdowns per game, 0.43 to a 0.22. Passing interceptions per game, 0 for Malik Willis to a 0.27 for the other guys. And you're going to get a median change across the board. Or the percentage change, I should say. Game play percentage, a positive 31 for Malik. Passing yards per game, a positive 5. Passing touchdowns per game, a positive 95.45, right? Interceptions per game, a 100. Passing completion percentage, 64.3. Passer rating, 121.89 positive. Rushing yards, 212. And then a rating of 55.31. So essentially you have a median prime percentage change of 79.89%. Average prime change of 85.7. That's how they come up with the 1 year, $10.5 million. Even the fact that he torched all that and they inflated that number compared to those other 4 comp players, that number I don't think is going to be nowhere near what he gets. I think he's going to be I mean, it's definitely going to be $20 million. I would be very, very, very surprised if Malik Willis doesn't get $20 million per. So, do we all agree here? Last question. We'll move on to the next player. Do we all agree here? Malik Willis has played his last snap for the Green Bay Packers.
Unfortunately, yes.
It sucks. Go get your money, Malik.
Thank you for his service.
Yeah, I could not be more. I mean, probably goes down in my history of being on this earth of my favorite backup that we've ever had. Maybe Matt Flynn. Maybe like if you want to go way back, remember like Aaron Brooks and like Ty Detmer and those types of people that we had on the backup. I don't know, man. It does absolutely suck. It does, because you wish you could keep a guy like that in your pocket, but he's played so good and been such a good dude that I want him to go out and flourish. It's like when you let your kids go off, you want to see him succeed. That's how I think of Malik. He's my little kid.
Emilio plays Madden, right?
Oh yeah.
He had some drip, man, with the headband, the cross. I mean, everything, bro. He's like, and now I'm just telling you guys, get ready for the hairline with Desmond Ridder. It's rough. It is rough. Okay. Yeah. It is what it is. But there was some drip. There was some drip with Malik for sure.
Because you could pull out the read option at any time, Clay. Quick little QB sub, backup QB, little read option to Jacobs. See ya.
Yeah. So anyway, if you guys are watching this back later, let us know what you think about Malik. What's the market value for you? Where do you think he ends up? I would love to see him paired up. I would love to see him paired up wherever the other Packer Doug Malik. This is God. Stay in Green Bay. Yeah. No, Mike Holmgren. Homage. So wherever Hafley ends up, I think it would be awesome if Malik ended up there. Right? Like if it's in Miami. To me, that feels, if Hafley were to take the job in Miami, I would love to see Malik go to Miami and be his quarterback. That would be really cool. If Matt LaFleur ends up getting fired, let go, or whatever, right? They end up trading him. I think his top choice wherever he would go would be, hey, go get me Malik, right? In free agency, I could see that happening as well. So it'll be interesting. But let us know what.
Who was the front office gentleman that went over to Miami? Is John Michael
Montgomery. Now it's John Eric Sullivan.
Eric Sullivan. Okay.
John Michael Montgomery's a country.
John Michael.
He put on some weight. Let me tell you, my man ain't looking. Hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? You know what I'm saying?
See, so, that's a jam.
That is a jam right there. Here we go. Jen Wright, Rob Domofsky, talks have progressed where it would be surprising at this point if LaFleur isn't the coach. I need somebody to explain to me what he means there. I'm stupid. Go ahead, Emilio. Decipher that for me. What does that comment mean right there?
That he is 85 to 99%, I would think, that Matt's coming back.
Jacob,
because if not, he would be very surprised at that point. So I mean, I would say 85 to 99%.
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of I'm not saying this just to
Jacob, don't you do it, sir. Don't you?
No, I'm just saying that this is the off season. Everybody's viewership has fallen off a cliff. I think that a lot of time this is, I think, something that Ryan touched on earlier today or yesterday with his podcast. It seems like that maybe people are just out there throwing, hey, sources tell me. What sources? Well, my mom said that she really thinks that LaFleur is not going to work.
Well, she's a nice lady, Jacob.
She is a nice lady. You keep her name out of your mouth, Emilio. No, but in all seriousness, I think that Rob's pretty tuned in, obviously. But it could be that kind of thing where where he's just maybe – I don't want to say that he's floating stuff out to get clicks. That's not what I'm accusing him of. I'm just saying, though, that if there is an opportunity to kind of, put a post out there that maybe gets some traction and has even this a modicum of truth to it, like I think that, they'd probably do it. So I'm going to wait until I see it happen before I believe anything. I'm not going to get in a cycle where I take the bait and start doom scrolling and getting all negative or positive to that fact,
Got it. So yeah, Jen, I'm not seeing the tweet, so he must have said it somewhere. I'm sure we'll hit on that in the morning. He'll probably tweet out information by then. Who knows? Maybe Matt LaFleur will have a contract by tomorrow morning. I hope he does, because I do feel like we're missing out on an opportunity to try to make this coaching staff better the longer this gets drug out. So appreciate that info, Jen.
Jen did follow up saying he said unfortunately. Not sure if that means Rob actually said that in the tweet or if I don't know the clarification there, Jen. If you want to,
why would he say unfortunately? Well, now I'm confused. What was the quote again?
And she said 20 minutes ago.
20 minutes.
So does that mean you think it's unfortunate, Jen, or that he actually said that in the tweet? clarify.
I didn't see a tweet that he put up saying.
I just looked. I didn't see a tweet either.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yes, Jacob, she said. So she said, unfortunately. But so I guess Jen doesn't want him back. Am I understanding that right? Like she don't want LaFleur
I don't know.
back.
Jen, hop on the show. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah, just hammer that out for us. We do
All
have
right,
that super Clay you need to get to.
Oh yeah, our boy.
That's right.
Sorry about that, Hardy. That's how professional we are here. Hardy the Prophet with the super chat says, "What would y'all think about bringing Mike Daniels in, the ex Packer player, for that hard nosed attitude as a coach?" Let's go around the horn. I want to get your all's take. I don't want to sway your all's opinion on this at all. With my opinion, how do y'all feel about? Would you want to bring in Mike Daniels in to be, obviously played defensive tackle for the Packers? Would you want to bring him in as a coach?
You go ahead, Emilio.
Y'all's topic.
That was me.
I don't
go
know.
hell with it.
Does he coach? Does he coach? I mean, sure. You know what? Let's give it a shot. Screw it. We haven't tried that. We haven't tried the ex-player option before. Let's give it a shot. I'm with it.
Jacob.
No, just because I love Mike Daniels, I do, but I feel like that he is a absolute psychopath in a great way. But I just feel like that maybe, I mean, what would it be like? What position would you think? If it's a D-line coach or something like that, then yeah, I mean, that'd be great to see how it works. And maybe he does have the chutzpah to kind of be that type of players-led, bite the kneecaps type of coach. I mean, I do think that's, if honestly, I will make a prediction that if they do bring Matt LaFleur back, I think that he will. And then if Hafley happens to unfortunately leave and he takes some guys with him, I think they're going to place him with a bunch of rah-rah, big, loud, type. Who's the guy that we lost that went Campanelli? Loved him. Loved everything he did, stood for. Went over to the Jags and clearly had some success over there.
He's interviewing with Miami tomorrow for the head coach job.
Right. And I mean, I just think that you need a couple of those types of people on your squad all the time. You need a few of them that, like, if something's not working, you say, "Hey, dude, go in there and be a psychopath." And he's like, "Got it." And just walks in and just completely, either gives that speech or just grabs a player by the helmet and headbutts him or whatever the case may be. You just got to have somebody that makes the piss hot, that can kind of stir the pot and get these guys fired up to get out of whatever funk that they're in. Because it feels like that's the biggest thing that I personally have had against this organization for the last 5-6 years, is it just feels like nobody gets them jacked up, man.
And see, I feel the opposite. When I hear a name like Mike Daniels gets thrown out there, what's been the big knock on Matt LaFleur? He's too emotional, right?
Correct.
So now we're going to get a defensive coordinator that's going to be overly emotional, because that's Mike Daniels. So whether you love him or hate him, I know some people that love him. I have talked to 2 players that played with him, okay, and it wasn't like, oh, I hate him or whatever, but it's like that rah-rah stuff. Not everybody responds to it. They don't, Some people hear that and go, okay, it's one ear out the other. And, others, it's, these are professional athletes. Do your freaking job.
Yeah.
But let me put it this way. If you need another grown-ass man to get you motivated about doing your job, you've got the wrong person. If that person has to come into work today, I'm going to play some football, man, I hope somebody can inspire me. Sorry, I don't want you on my damn team. Don't want it. Don't need it. I appreciate Mike Daniels being fired up and the whole thing he's got, but man, I want guys who love football, And if you got to have another grown man get you fired up to play a game or to get I can't subscribe to it. I think Hafley is a great male. He shows the guys that he cares. He's proven to the guys, I know what I'm talking about. You got to trust me, right? And then let your team leaders go out there and do it. You guys know what I think is wrong with the roster. You don't have enough veterans. You're too young. You're the youngest team in the league. And as long as you march out the youngest roster in the league, you're going to continue to have mental mistakes, and you're going to continue to have guys that don't perform their best in the biggest moments. They haven't been there yet. They haven't, or they haven't been there enough, I should say. So that would be
just to clarify. I do not want Mike Daniels as probably any coach, but if it was one, I would say just like a supporting role, maybe as like a D-line coach that is that type of person that at a situation's notice can be like, just kind of get him, if anything, scare him. Mike Daniels still scare the hell out of me if I saw him in a back alley. I'm just telling you.
Dude, great football player too. Great football player. that dude, and I love how he played the game. He played it with energetic. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, if the only reason we're bringing somebody in is to get them fired up, and I'm not saying Hardy's saying that at all. It's not what I'm saying at all. But that's where my mind goes. So yeah, great player. I don't know if he'd necessarily make a great coach. So here we go. Packer Doug. Domofsky said it is likely Matt LaFleur is coming back. He said on ESPN Wisconsin today that he would guess some type of agreement would be announced in 24 to 48 hours. Source were Packer Doug's ears. I love it. So there you go. So we should have something next 24 to 48 hours. That makes sense. Don't drag it out. And I'm eager to see. And here's the rough part. We're not going to know all the details. If they come to an agreement, there's no reason for Matt's camp to leak out. Well, they told him he couldn't play call. He couldn't call the plays. Or they told him he had to change this coach. Or that's not going to leak out. If he didn't get the job, it would leak out, right? So I don't know if that makes sense or not. But thank you for that information, Doug. And thank you, Jen, for bringing it to our attention. Or we never would have even had that conversation. It was Jen, right? Jen.
Yep.
All right. Let's hit a couple of these real quick, and then we'll jump into the next player we want to cover. J. Cole says this is a trade back year for a lot of teams that needs quarterbacks. I think this is the perfect year to trade Tua and Kyler. All right. Interesting. The draft is so awesome.
Would you take Kyler for a 7th round?
What's that?
Would you take Kyler for a 7th round? Bring him
Would
in?
I trade a 7th round pick for Kyler Murray? Hell yeah, to get that double XP on them weekends.
That's what I was wondering. I was looking to get the same code, Clay. I really was. I was hoping.
Yeah, now for me, if he's a good locker room guy, yeah, I don't know how you can determine that. You know, listen, ton of talent.
Nothing to do with Green Bay besides play Xbox. So, I mean, we could make that – we could work that out for him.
We could put it on the sideline for him, get a little flat screen over there. You know what I mean?
He goes in the blue tent every other play. What is he doing in there?
Shadow's real bad outside.
Groin injury or something like that,
yeah.
I heard.
The only thing that worries me about that is how many people came out and spoke against him like he was a bad teammate. He wasn't a good leader. So I don't think we need none of that, right? We need somebody who's going to be a stabling force in the locker room more so than someone that just, and maybe that's a misconception of him. It might be. I don't know. I don't know. I do know it was pointed out that when Budda Baker went down with a season-ending injury and they put him on the cart, the entire team walked out because that was their team captain. Budda Baker plays the game the right way, right? The entire team went out to tell him thank you and wish him good luck or whatever. Kyler Murray's the only one that didn't go over there. That's a bad look.
That's a terrible look.
The chat was all for that's a no-go, man.
They do not want Kyler in the chat.
I thought I was going to get raked over the coals there, to be honest with you. Donna Schilling says, thank you guys for not being condescending with your fans, guys. I've had to quit. Well, okay. I've had to quit watching another one because of how they treat a large portion of their fan base. Shaking my head. I never want to get in the a situation where we're calling other people out. I got enough problems. For me, man, I got enough of me to fix, so I don't want that to, I don't want to call the people out like that unless they're calling, it is what it is. But thank you for the compliment. We greatly appreciate that. And we try not to be condescending. Listen, I can be an ass. I know I can. I try to keep it in check, but we want this show to be about your all's opinion, our opinion. Let's look at the facts and let's just talk ball 365 days a year. So appreciate the kind words there, sir. We'll leave it at that. Hardy Armor, we ain't experts, damn it. That's right. All right, Let's move on to the next player. I wanted to hit this with you guys real quick. This is the one I was most excited about. I think we can do this in 15 minutes, right? Quay Walker.
Do anything.
I wish Tim was here because I know Tim has been the biggest Quay fan, I think, of all of us. Do y'all feel comfortable saying that, like, Tim likes Quay more than any of us do? Not that any of us don't like him. We'll get your all's take on that. But I feel like Tim has kind of been in Quay's corner the entire time. And I wanted to see if that had changed at all or if he still felt the same. And he's not the only one, by the way.
No, I would be right behind Tim. I love Quay, man. I think that speed is killer. I think we need that on the defense. But
okay. So we're going to look at his market value. And I want to ask the chat. I want everybody to let us know in the chat. And same with the super chats. If any come in, we'll hit them at the end here. We greatly appreciate everybody. I want to know, do you guys want to bring him back? He's set to hit free agency, right? So here are the numbers. Here is how he grades out. His defensive grade this year, 46.0 according to PFF. That was the 77th best linebacker. For those of you wonders, only 32 teams in the league. We're typically playing 2 stack backers in our nickel 4-2-5. Therefore, top 64 would equal starting caliber according to PFF standards. Okay, 46.0, not going to get it done. Run defense grade, 54.4. Pass rush grade, 61.0. I don't put as much stock in the pass rush because he's a stack backer. Those guys, you look at any stack backer across the league, their pressure percentage is through the roof because that's what it's designed to do is you bring a +1 and hit home with the quarterback, right? You're going to get pressure on the quarterback more times than not in that case. Coverage grade, 40.9. So with that being said, over the course of his career being in Green Bay, here are his career PFF grades: 52, 58, 57, and this year it drops to 46. According to PFF, he just had his worst year since being in Green Bay. All right. Market value, $9.7 million. Not going to bore you with all the details here. However, 4 players are Logan Wilson, Zaven Collins, Robert Spillane, and Uter Gross Matos, if I'm saying that right.
Money.
Yeah, hopefully I got it right. Somebody said, you say uterus? No, I said uter. So anyway, those are the 4 comp players. Their averages come out to 3 years, $25.2 million or $9 million average annual value at 26.8 years old. So the base calculated value essentially is going to be $9.9 million. All right. Statistical comparisons with those 4 players. Here's the percentage change. We'll just jump right to the percentage change of Quay. Hopefully you guys get an idea of how everything goes here. Gameplay percentage, snap percentage, tackles, sacks, stops, catch rate, quarterback hurries, and rating. Okay. The percentage change for gameplay percentage for Quay, -13.5. Snaps percentage, -4.1. Tackles per game, positive 36.26. That's what he does well, right? He's always got a ton of tackles, right? Now, the fact that he's got so many tackles and not as many stops, that bothers me. But it looks like compared to these other guys, pretty good numbers. Sacks per game, a +11. Stops per game, +24. Catch rate, right, on the year, -6.31. And then quarterback hurries per game, -27.27. So essentially what you've got is a median prime change of -5% with a average prime percentage change of a +0.31. That's how you come up with 3 years, $29 million, 9.6 average salary. Based off of that, we looked at the PFF grades. We're going to hit the NFL Pro data in a second to see if it confirms, okay? But based off what we've seen up to this point, would you be willing to pay Quay Walker $9.7 million? 3-year deal, $9.7 million. Forget the guaranteed money. We'll work that detail out later. Keep it very simple here, Emilio. Would you be willing to pay Quay Walker 3 years at $9.7 million per year?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, Emilio said yes. All right.
Really?
All right.
Okay.
That's it, Jacob.
Just let me quick highlight what the chat quick said. Coach, 50-50 on Quay. Not so cool. Let him go. Jen, Quay, I don't know. Stephanie says, I used to like Quay. I'm not sure now. Not so cool. Again, first rounder, PFF grades no good. We've talked about that. Coach Len saying that he'd like to have him back, but move him to a different linebacker position. I think that's a little more interesting conversation. Stephanie says, pay him just somewhere else. I am unfortunately probably going against Emilio. I just feel like that what we have right now, forgive the pun, but in the hopper with a guy like Mr. See what I did, you guys? I'm awesome. But no, with honestly, with the way that McDuffie has played, with what we know we have out of Coop, what we have in the back round with Hopper, even, maybe a couple guys like Clayton said earlier in his podcast, maybe you got to bring in a couple young guys, maybe you bring in a veteran. If there's a Bobby Wagner type-esque player out there in the offseason, you kind of just bolster that room. That's pretty much where I'm at as far as being a first-round talent that I just don't feel like is quite – the thing to me is that he can do most of the stuff we ask for a linebacker to do. It just seems like that in the situations, whether it's him covering nothing in the zone coverage, right, or whether it's him just coming up and actually making a key play in key situations. I kind of like what Coach said. If we could maybe utilize him in a different aspect, whether he's a better Sam, we talked about that kind of, right? Whether he's maybe just not the Green Dot guy, he's maybe just not the Mike, maybe he's a Sam, maybe he's a Will, maybe we have a little more, tweaking to do with what he can do in the NFL. The thing is I don't want to come in and get a project that's a first round draft pick and we're going to still pay him $10 million a year because we don't really understand what he does well and what he doesn't. I like what you got to be kidding me. Number one says Quay has no instincts. And I hate that because that seems very aggressive and accusatory, but I kind of feel like that's.
I agree. I mean, I don't want to say no instinct, but I agree that's his weak spot. Like, to me, his superpower is being able to cover vertically down the seam. He does that. Like, there's not many stack backers that can do what he does. He's an athletic freak, but the hesitation he has in the underneath game. I mean, I can't remember what quarterback it was a few weeks ago that scrambled to the left and picked up the first down. And it was like Quay was there. He was squared up and he went to run him down. And he didn't run him down. I'm like, that's what he's supposed to be able to do, right? He's supposed to be that athletic freak to run the quarterback down. So that's where I was a little bit. I'm not saying I don't want Quay back, but for the right price, to me, 9.7, that's a little too high for me.
Did you happen to? So there's a lot of people in the chat. I didn't highlight them just because I wasn't sure if it was true. But
shout out to Fishy Things, being a member for 5 months. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Go ahead, Jacob. You can hit them.
Thank you, Fishy Things. No, I don't want to highlight them because I don't know if it's true, and I don't want to put people on blast or whatever. But they were saying that he did a pretty kind of weird post-conference interview where he kind of it seemingly felt like he was throwing people under the bus. Is that accurate in y'all's eyes? And I haven't heard it, so again, I didn't want to just put it up on screen. Like,
I'm kind of paraphrasing, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but essentially what he said was this has been a problem long before I got here, essentially with the collapses Quay did. So yeah, this has been a problem even before I got here, is what he said, talking about the late collapses and stuff. Is it true? I mean, hell, I guess. I don't know, but that to me, and I have no inside information, but that to me sounds like a guy who's leaving, and he's just kind of going, about flip the bird. He's going, take that with you with the ring finger. That's a ring finger, okay? Take that with you. I'm out of here. That's what it felt like. So I don't know. Does everybody agree with that? He was deflecting responsibility. Yeah, that's kind of exactly. It felt like that. Somebody said correct, Clay. So
I think to go listen to it. I'll have to go listen to it. But
it was interesting, Emilio.
I don't know. I mean, I'd still feel like I would pay him. Looking at at least 80% of the minimum snaps played. Edrin was 7th overall out of a rank of 27 of them, right? Quay was 24th. These are like out of all the linebackers in the league. The only other one that we would know about, Eric Wilson, was 17th. I think that Quay can be Eric Wilson or more, right? We were super happy when Eric Wilson came in and played that. That's not bad, but I like where Jacob and Coach were saying maybe you move Quay to Sam most of those times. You bring in Hopper when we go 3 wide, move Quay down to Sam, and then bring him back up and just let him be once. I feel like if he had one side of the field that he needed to cover and worry about sort of thing, or one sort of objective on that, I would feel a little bit more comfortable. But
I was going to highlight it, but I thought I'm going to get in trouble. If
I don't even know what it means. I probably shouldn't put it up there either.
I was just going to – so
I got
Emilio –
if you guys want me to read it, I got the exact quote.
While you're doing that, Emilio, could you look up what Eric Wilson's PFF grade was when he went to B-Flow this year again? Because a lot of people in the chat were talking about that as well.
This year, his grade was a 62.1. Last year at Green Bay, his grade was a 64.3.
Okay. And Quay was a 40.
And to be honest, I think that our issue with Quay and Coop in general dropping this year was our D line. I think that the issue is they're climbing to the second level. Everybody's already 3 yards up the field. We got not that you saw a little bit more of Quay when Devontae Wyatt was out there, and you get a little bit more pull. But they're getting way too much to the second level. Our interior D line, I need a little bit more from the general, maybe a little bit more beef. I don't know what it is, but I think that plays a part too.
Got it. So here is the exact quote from Quay Walker. And this was Ryan Wood tweeted this out, okay? Quote, as bad as I want to stand right here and say we should have won that game, we didn't execute. That's been a problem for us. Honestly, just finishing games. Even before I got here, I feel like that's always been a part of this organization. When it comes down to big games, finishing games, whether you start strong in the first half, it comes down to how you finish, or it comes down to can you finish. Nobody cares what you did in the first half. It comes down to when the fourth quarter hits double zeros, whatever the case may be, do we have more points than them? That hasn't been the case at all. So, again, the highlight there is even before I got here, I feel like that's always been a part of this organization when it comes down to big games.
I'm not mad at that. I'll be honest. I mean, he said that's when, I mean, everybody has complained since 2010 on that we've fallen apart. There was a special teams blunder. There was an offensive blunder, a defensive blunder. It doesn't matter what happened, who happened. I mean, he came from Georgia where Kirby was cooking and just, going down the line, right? It was knock them out, win 13 games, keep moving, keep your head down. You got a big game, play it, get through the game, end the game with the winning, with more points on the scoreboard than them and keep moving. So I'm really not mad at maybe it just didn't sound right, but I'm not mad at the statement kind of he made there.
I think that's a fair point, Emilio. To Coach's point, he says he's being truthful. He's not a secret. We've had issues in the big games. To me, though, that's one of those situations. I actually had it happen today. If a woman, if your wife, if your girlfriend, if your mom says, "Do I look fat in this dress?" you do not answer anything other than either no answer or you do not say yes, okay? And if you do, I feel like that you are willingly putting yourself out there to get yourself.
Don't say anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, Quay was just maybe talking a little emotionally and that kind of thing, but to say it that way, and maybe it's just a slip of the tongue and he didn't really quite mean it that way, but to me it was like, yo, what are you doing right now?
This is how I feel. Tell me the play that Quay made that was the difference maker in that game against Chicago. Tell me where Quay made a play that justifies him saying that comment against Chicago.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fair.
Right now, forget Chicago. Go the week before. Go the week before that. The entire 2025 season, tell me the play that Quay Walker made that justifies him saying a comment like that.
Right.
Xavier McKinney says it, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Hell, this is going to make people mad. Rashawn Gary says it. He's done it in the past. When has Quay made a play where you're like, that's the game-saving play? That's the big-time play. When has he done it? I can't think of one. He's made plays here and there, don't get me wrong, right? And he's a physical freak. Like Coach Lynn says, he's dropped a bunch of picks. Like, I don't know, man. I guess I'm just weird. I'm old school, I guess. I don't even know if it's old school. I don't want to compliment myself. That sounds like a compliment. That sounded very, very arrogant. I don't want players on my team that go, "Yeah, it's been a problem since I got here or before I got here." And you ain't made the play that's made the difference.
That's fair. That's fair.
Jordan, the tight window throws while getting smacked in the damn mouth,
Yep.
right? Christian Watson, I don't care that he fumbled. That dude got to the 6-yard line and said, "The hell with my body and my health. I'm going to get a touchdown." And he jumped over everybody, right? I don't know, man. And then if he wants to say something, I'm going to shut up and listen because he put it out there. I just haven't seen it, man. I hate to be like that, but yeah. So with that being said, 9.7 million is the number. Now, we cover PFF says he's horrible, right? And usually we look at this and we go, okay, it's not as bad as it looked, right? According to PFF. Let's go look at the NFL Pro data in case we missed something. Stops. You guys know what a stop is. It's when a player makes a tackle that results in a negative play for the defense, not necessarily miss negative yards, but a negative play in terms of EPA, right? Quay Walker finished 33rd in the league with 54 stops at his position, okay? That would suggest the best number 2 sack backer in a nickel defense in the league is what that's saying, right? Out of 32 teams, he was 33rd best in stops. Not a horrible number. At $9 million per, I don't know, right? All right, passer rating when targeted. Brace yourself. 86th amongst stack backers. The passer rating when targeted. I mean, you're getting into horrible territory there, right? Quay Walker, 105.6 was the passer rating when targeted allowed, okay? Quarterback pressure percentage. He can rush the quarterback pretty good, right? When you look at stack backers, and really they throw a lot of hybrid backers in here too, so this might be a little bit fair. It's not just stack backers, but he finished 56th at 15.8% pressure rate, okay, which explains why his pass rush grade looked a little lower in terms of PFF, right? Linebacker room. When you look at our linebacker room, according to PFF, well, again, those 3 stats, just hit them one more time, 33rd, 86th, 56th, okay? That's where he's at. To me, that screams number 2 to number 3 linebacker on the team. Are we willing to pay $9 million for that caliber of a player, right? I always try to look at this stuff too. Like if you remove the player's name and just looked at the results, the PFF grade, the stats, And also, if you could remove their jersey number and their name off nameplate and you just watch the tape, would you go, need that guy for $9 million? Me personally, I'm not there. I'm not. $5 million, you could sell me on that. I'd be like, okay, yeah, he knows the system. He's been here a while. I want to say he's a team player. That comment ticks me off. So I can't go, oh man, he's all about. I don't know, man. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And I think I'm the only one too, because everybody in the chat, it seemed, I don't want to say everybody, but the majority in the chat didn't have a problem with that comment, right? I kind of did.
I'm with you, Clay. That really,
okay. So you and I are the two sensitive Susans in here tonight,
apparently.
Right? So anybody watching the name Susan, that was not a shot, okay? No. So Chris says it pissed him off. Chris, everything pisses you off, so you're in the same that work. So let's see here. So when you look at the linebacker room, again, PFF-wise, Edgerrin Cooper, 75.8. Guys, that is your stack backer. That's your dude in the middle, right? That's your difference maker. That defense fell apart when he left that Chicago game with the injury. And it sounds like he's going to be good to go next year. It doesn't sound like that's anything major. He didn't, right? So we should be good. Should be no long-lasting effects here. Christian Welch, 66.1. Only 2 snaps, throw it out the window. Isaiah McDuffie, 65.5 on 551 snaps. I feel like the defense was significantly better when Isaiah McDuffie was in and Quay was out. When Quay was out with the injury, I felt like I wasn't going, man, we're really missing Quay tonight. I just didn't feel like that. Jamin Johnson, only 67 snaps, but a 54.2. He's a rookie, by the way. Nick Nyman, only 1 snap. Quay Walker, 978 snaps, 46.0. When you look at the linebacker room in terms of salary cap, Isaiah McDuffie next year, $4.9 million against the cap. Edgerrin Cooper, $2.3 million against the cap. Tyron Hopper, $1.5 million against the cap. Jamin Johnson doesn't count toward the cap right now. If you want him back, you can have him back, I think, on the futures or what have you. So, with all that being said, are you willing to bring Quay back in for a $9 million cap hit, right? Essentially, it's just, maybe it's 7, whatever. He would be the highest paid linebacker in the room. Would you be willing to do that to put Isaiah McDuffie on the bench? In my opinion, Isaiah McDuffie outperformed him this year. No matter what stats you look at on a per snap basis, it feels like McDuffie played better football. I'm just not willing to do it. At $5 million, like I said, you could sell me on that. I think the best thing to do here is let him walk in free agency. It'll help you get a comp pick next year and go draft 1 or 2 more linebackers or go find a couple of young players to put through the system. Emilio, how do you feel about all that, man? Do you still want him back at $9 million? And I'm not trying – that's why I try to get your all's opinion first. I don't want to sway you in any way. That's just how I feel about it. And I feel like you're okay with $9 million. I understand that. I respect it. I'm not saying it's a horrible idea, but that's just kind of where I'm at.
Emilio, just real quick. How about this? All right.
Don't you say the name. Don't you say the
You let homie walk, and then you find yourself a diamond in the rough, another Sean Dolak. Okay. How about that? How about that's how we go about this?
I would love it. Well, Jacob, hear me out. Red Murdoch coming out of UB in a year or two, dude is going to be nasty. All right. He's elite on college football. Okay, Jacob.
His name's Red Murdoch?
Yeah, Red Murdoch.
No,
he's nasty. Anyway, my point on Quay, yes, I would still pay him 9. Isaiah's getting 5. He's our special teams captain. If you gave 300 more pass coverage snaps to Isaiah McDuffie this year, his grade is not a 65.5. I almost guarantee it. You know what I mean? Nothing against McDuffie. He's not turning his hips like Quay. He's not getting downfield like it's just not – that's not his stat. I would still pay Quay that. And maybe like we talked about with Coach, maybe you lean into, all right, Quay, you're going to be playing like 200 snaps on the line this year too. If you're worried about your edge rushers or whatever, rotate him down, walk him up to the line and let him – first year in the league, he had a 70.3 pass rush grade. And in the games where he had a good pass rush, he graded out. I mean, his tackling was good. He had a 91 pass rush against Arizona. He had a 71 against Baltimore. He didn't grade out great, but when you asked him to do those pass rush stats, yeah. But I'm not mad at $9 million for Quay to keep that defense kind of together. Carry him for 2 years. Get ready to pay Coop. All right, when Coop's ready to be paid, Quay can bounce, and then we move on.
There you go. And you know what? To kind of defend you a little bit here too, Emilio, we say $9 million. If you sign him to a 3-year, $27 million contract, that first year probably cap it's going to be like $6 million, right? So It's going to be
be ready to be out in 2 years or whatever. Get through 1 and maybe be out at the end of 1, or maybe you're out of 2.
Yeah, and this is a great point, Coach Lynn. B-Flow would figure out something for Quay to do for sure.
with Micah, and Coop, B-Flow would be like, all right, what are we doing back here?
Yeah, I really want B-Flow the more I think about it.
That would be,
yeah. So the reason we mentioned Sean Dolak, I want to give you guys a little behind baseball here. The other day, this column right here is brand new. If you guys are wondering what this is our draft board from last year. Okay, don't make fun of me because I only got 84% storage left there used at the top. Okay, so or 84% used, I should say.
We'll start deleting stuff.
Yes, we will, but we really won't. So what we added was the PFF grades from this year. So all of the rookies that are on our draft board last year, we got all the different columns. You could sort them by their grades still, but now you can actually look at their PFF grade. I went through and put every one of these PFF grades in the other day. It was a ton of grades, right? And at the end, I was so excited, I hit sort. Now, if you see the red box over here, that simply means they had less than 100 snaps. So it's, hey, this is their grade, but check the snap count. They didn't play a whole lot. It may be 85 snaps. It might have been 3. That's what that's saying. So I sorted it like, all right, let's see who the best rookies were. You guys watched our draft coverage last year throughout the year. All we heard about was Sean Dolak, and look who's number 2 on the list. Sean Dolak finished with an 88.5.
That's crazy.
Minimal snaps, but an 88.5. I seen that and I immediately text the guys and said some bad words. I'm like, I'm so tired of hearing about Sean Dolak.
I'm just horns up, baby.
Horns up, he says.
Horns up. Do you want to know PFF with Sean Dolak? 4 games played, 43 snaps, 20 runs, 4 pass rushes, 19 coverage, 88.5, 88.2 run defense, 80 tackling, 64 pass rush, 68.4 coverage.
There you go. You heard it from the fan right here. So, did he ever have a card on college football?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I saved him. I save all the bold ones, even though they're like 80 overalls. You know what I mean? On Ultimate Team, I'll keep them at the bottom of the folder. But yeah, I think there's a tackle coming out too potentially this year. We'll see if he's returning or not.
So, if you guys are wondering who the highest graded rookies were last year according to PFF, remove the minimal snaps. Okay, like let's don't include those guys. Cam Scatterbo, running back, 80.5. Okay. Next, Tet McMillan, 79.3. Do you guys remember leading up the draft? It's like everybody loved Tet McMillan. They loved him. Mm-hmm. And then like 3 weeks before the draft, all of a sudden he don't like football. He don't like studying. We're like, boy, somebody trying to get him to drop. He was a dog this year, 79.3. Next on the list, as bad as it hurts me to say it, Luther Burden. That was our 3rd best receiver. He was just above Matthew Golden on our draft board. Luther Burden, 77.9. Omarion Hampton outplaying, who was the running back? Ashton Gianti. He outplayed Ashton Gianti according to PFF. Omarion Hampton, 77.3 out of North Carolina. Jahad Campbell, 76.2. We know that one, obviously. Wyatt Malum ended up being the best offensive lineman.
Love that guy. Me and Tim, I think, really love that guy.
And here's what's crazy. You guys see the Senior Bowl icon there, right? People, it's snuck up on us. The end of this month, in roughly 2 weeks, we're going to be doing live coverage of the East-West Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl. It's already here.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then next month, guess what happens? The Combine, right? And then you got free agency opening up.
Man, that is crazy.
Right. It's wild.
Let's go, boy. Yeah. Hey, you know what? There's another one. Noah Williams. I know Tim was kind of touting the horn for him, and that's crazy.
I'll give you another one too. Remember a couple weeks before the draft, we got on here and said Greg Cosell said Tyler Shuck is like, he watched the tape. Tyler Shuck was his favorite quarterback essentially. And he said that other front office executives reached out to him and said, you're on it. You're on it. We agree, right? Remember us having that conversation? Tyler Shuck ended up being the highest graded rookie quarterback this year at 74.6 in New Orleans with garbage around him down there.
Yeah.
So, again, when you look at the players we're talking about, look at all the Greg Cosell bonuses. He loved Cam Scatterbo. He loved Tet McMillan. He loved Luther Burden. He loved Omarion Hampton. He loved Jahad Campbell. He loved Abdul Carter. He loved Tyler Shuck, Noah Williams. All these guys got the Greg Cosell bonus. Remember, my favorite defensive lineman wanting a 3-tech was Walter Nolan. He got hurt, played a little over 100 snaps, less than 200 snaps for sure. Greg Cosell was like, this dude is one of, if not the best players in the draft. That's why we gave him a 7-point bonus from Greg Cosell because he spoke about him like nobody else. 74.1 was his PFF grade. So that's the type of 3-tech I'm looking for this year if we could find one. Now,
Well, and just look at all the final numbers too, Clay. How many of them are actually low numbers? Final number on that column there being lower number wins. Just love that. The only ones that are sky high are the red minimum snap ones. Besides that, it's like, dude, we were narrowing it down.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. And again, we're going to do that again this year. If you just sort that column here. So now this is what our draft board actually looked like. Gianti, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, Ted McMillan, Will Campbell. You see them in that order now, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when you look at the PFF grades, so that disappears when you show that grade. Is that right?
They're right there. There's just nobody that had minimums.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Oh, yeah, I see it now. My bad. So, yeah, that's sorted by the board, and now you see like 70, 74, 62, 68, 79, 74. It looks like the worst one is Cam Ward, and God love his heart down there in Tennessee. What do you expect it to do, right? 58.5. Right. We always say if you score 60 or higher, it's a good sign that you're going to be a good player. James Pierce, 57.8, but he finished, I think, as Rookie of the Month, if I remember correctly. So he finished strong at the end of the year. Look for him to potentially flash next year. Kenneth Grant was probably the biggest bust we had, 48.4, right?
Yeah.
And one of the top players on our board. So for the most part, though, they shook out pretty darn good. So anyway, that's just a little glimpse at the draft board. We're going to do that again this year. We've already got it started. If you guys are in the Patreon group, you've already got access to it. The PFF grades for 23 and 24 are already in. As soon as the national championship wraps up, we'll give it 48 hours. We'll put the 25 PFF grades in, and then we're off and running, building the board out. And you guys will have every update. Every time we make an update, you can find it over at patreon.com/Packer Fan Total Access. So you guys got anything else? We went way over. I apologize.
No, man.
I just seeing that spreadsheet, and I've actually got the last 2 years printed out from FedEx Express. There you go. Emilio's got his right there. Mine was, I can't read as well as you, my eyes when you get older, Emilio, you got to kind of squint a little bit. So mine's like quite a bit longer. I had to roll that sucker up. But guys, just like, it sucks to have to lose the way we lost, right? That was a terrible end of the season. I don't think anybody would argue otherwise. But we are about to, if you can just stick with this channel, Clayton and Emilio and Tim, they dived so hard into this off season. You guys have no idea. It's made me enjoy football so much more, and they get so much more into college football. Cause honestly, I wasn't a big college football guy, but during this time of year, I just absolutely love it. It's so fun to see where these guys start ranking. And to the point of a lot of the people in the comments that for the years as a joke, time for mock draft. Guess what? We're at that point now. We're going to start cranking out them mock drafts. And there's nothing better than this time of year of having hope and optimism, because every 32 team in this NFL, you have that. It's hope season, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. We're hope dealers, not dope dealers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean.
All right. Emilio, anything else you want to?
No comments after that one, actually. I'm going to pass on that.
All right. And we are up to 7,930 subs. So we're almost to the 8,000 mark. We picked up over 760 subs last month, and the watch time is through the roof. You guys are crushing it with the comments. It's helping the algorithm. It looks like over the last 28 days there has been 30,000, almost 31,000 hours of watch time on the channel. So appreciate everybody helping us get to where the channel is. Y'all are all a huge part of it. So thank y'all so much for the support. We're going to get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm probably going to live first thing in the morning in case any news breaks. If not, we'll talk about Rob Domofsky, what he said tonight. I'll try to cipher through and get some more information and get you guys some more updates tomorrow. Hopefully a deal will be done with Matt LaFleur soon, or they decide to move on soon so we can start to get this whole coaching staff kind of shook out here. So appreciate everybody jumping in. Thank you, Emilio. Thank you, Jacob. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
There we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.